Alright, so more things have happened. One, I got a cold since yesterday. I guess it's a thing in the air in the UK because fellow UK Ian, Tony Bing, similarly with having a similar issue while talking about these things. So this will be interesting. So if you realise I sound a bit out of breath, it's not because I'm fat. It's because I have a bad cold. So, alright, so let's talk about this a little bit. So, I wanted to do a video today, sort of just talking about kind of the aftermath of all the consumable stuff, kind of, everything that has come out sort of since then, or lack thereof, right? So, okay, so let's get started. So, it started off with 10 minutes before the normal dev stream, right? So, normally there's a dev stream on a Friday. 10 minutes before it was cancelled. Right, and I don't think this was a surprise to anyone. Like, what are they gonna say? Do you know what I mean? Because they need permission to be able to say anything at all, right? So when it gets to consumable situation, it's not going to be like they're going to get on stream a day after, right? The day after all of this happens, there's no way that meeting is going to be able to be finished by that time and be like, look, guys, consumables, we are going to sort it. Like, it's not going to work. And if they did feed Phil, Andy, Layla, and etc. to the wolves, then, I mean, what is going to happen other than them getting a bunch of unnecessary harassment, right? Nothing. So, even though it was a bit late on the cancellation of it, and it would have been nice, but I don't think people were genuinely expecting it. If you were, then I apologise that you didn't get the dev stream in the end. But I think that doing a dev stream and ignoring it would have been seen as tone deaf and ignorant, but obviously they're not going to be allowed to say anything because I imagine that there are meetings happening probably right now as I'm doing this video to address those different things. So I think that, if you sort of think of it that way, it makes a bit more sense. So we move on from that, right? Now, I was deciding whether or not I actually wanted to address this because this is quite a sensitive subject and it's one that's kind of, I'm going to have to look at it from two different sides of the coin. And I don't want to because I do firmly believe of one of these things. So let me explain. So, yesterday, I believe early this morning, for me, Avengers Hater, known troll, don't know if he's doing a character or not, but either way, he can be a bit of a prick sometimes. Let's just say how it is, right? Posted a tweet saying, I got a DM from a dev. Alright, and obviously, great timing. People thought he was taking the piss. Oh, he's cashing in on all the consumable stuff. It was actually true. It was actually true. Now, I won't read the message. I won't tell you who the dev is because this isn't a drama alert channel. I am just saying, and I want to talk about that a little bit. So, obviously, a video of Megan on the stage at E3 2019 saying that there will be no pay-to-win scenarios has been going around the community quite a lot. A promise that was made to the audience and it got a loud cheer, right? Brilliant. When I heard that, I was very happy. I think that kind of what's gone on now is that, unfortunately, it seems that Megan and the other community team members are getting a lot of flack, right? So, one moment. Sorry about that. I just had to, I had gas and ill. Anyway, but yeah, no. So when we, got to that sort of thing of so they're receiving flack, right? For the fact that she was told by people to go and say this on a stage full of people, right? That's not Megan's fault. That's the people that told her to say that, even though they were eventually going to go back on it when the money looked greener. Not her fault. You know what I mean? But I will say that, so we've seen that video, and obviously that was the context of the messages sent to Avengers Hater. Now, I have to look at this from two sides of the coin. Messaging someone in a community who is very, very known to be, a hater of the game, it's in the name, do you really think it was the smartest decision, regardless? Because I completely understand it. I get why this was a thing. But do you think it may have been the smartest idea to let emotions take over and thus Avengers Hater has some ammunition? People have some ammunition now. A narrative can be created that is like the developers are attacking us. They're not. But that's kind of the narrative that can be spun now. Now, before I get into this a little bit more, I want to say that as a man, I completely respect it. as a human, which they all are. Let me confirm this. I 100% am on the side of as a human being before I make this next example. As a human being, you defended your friend. Brilliant. I don't have a problem with it, right? You believe that your friend was being hurt by words of, harshness, etc., etc., etc. You saw red, Carl. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. From a business standpoint, you know what I mean? For people on the outside looking in, people are going to use the narrative that this was the first communication that anyone from the team has had since this situation, right? And I think because of that notion and because of the DMs coming out, etc., it was then brought to their attention that maybe they should do a post on Reddit. And that's exactly what they ended up doing. So they did a post on Reddit, and it was essentially like, guys, this is made by a lot of studio heads. They make these decisions. It's not the community team. We champion your concerns. Please just essentially don't be a dick, right? And obviously, some people have got this kind of idea that, they're manipulating us. Of course, they're playing the victim card now. And obviously, there's other people that are like, you just don't be dicks to the wrong people. I'm on that side. I think that going around trying to fucking puncture wounds in every single person with crystal dynamics in their bios is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. That won't accomplish anything. You know what I mean? But I will also say that at the same time, it's a shame that because of the job role that this developer has, going down that route of kind of defending themselves, really, is going to be looked at as such a negative thing. And I think that the mentality that people are going to have until there's a big talk about these consumables is it's us versus you. It's developer versus consumer. And when you have that narrative, whether it's true or not, whether it's true or not, you are going to be in a situation where you're not going to be able to sell them anything. I don't mean money. I mean as in like anything that you say will not be sold correctly. People will nitpick it. To be fair, rightfully so, outside of the harassment and stuff. And they won't believe a word that you say. And it's all about gaining that trust back. But it's difficult to try and gain trust for people that already seem to be so against you at the same time. It's very difficult because there's people on the higher ups that don't care about us, the community and that. Don't care about the community team. Don't care about those ground developers, right? It's very clear that that is the case. Now, that means that essentially we kind of have like a common fucking enemy situation here, right? We have a common enemy that these consumables probably aren't the best. I don't know this for a fact, but I can guarantee you that Andy, Layla, different members of the community team looked at the consumables in the marketplace and went, "Oh, fucking hell, our jobs are going to get a lot harder." And that's horrible. You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't have to be afraid of their own video game because bad decisions keep being made that in turn triggers an overreaction from the community. So what do we do about this? What do we do? Who do we voice our concerns to? Don't know. Because in all fairness, it's like, okay, the community team very much know that we don't like consumables, right? So what do you do now? Do you know what I mean? All I can think of that would be a best case scenario at the moment is for the community team to be like, look, we hear your feedback about consumables. We are doing everything we can. That would clear a lot of problems because at least we then feel that we have a friend on the inside. We have friends that are going to try and help us out. But at the minute, I think the community just feel like everyone's against them. Like it's all of Crystal, all of Square, all of whatever against the community, even though that's not the case. So what you've got to do is you've got to kind of champion the voices that you say you're championing and be like, look, we get it, we're doing everything we can. That's really all you've got to say. Sorry, I paused it again because I was, yeah. But yeah, no, like, so you need to kind of find a good balance between not taking the shit, but also responding to people that have genuine concerns and just be like, look, we're doing everything we can. And even though this video again was a bit of a ramble, like the one from the other day, I definitely think that it is 100% necessary for me to also sit here and talk with you guys. Because as a content creator for this community, as someone with a relative bit of a following, I have a voice. I've been told it 100 times when I've said dickhead things on the internet. I have been told it so many times. So I am using that voice to portray to you my opinion, just my opinion, and what I think they should do. Whether you agree with me or not, that's absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine. You don't have to agree with me. You also don't, you don't have to disagree with me. You don't have to be angry if you don't want to, right? But I don't think we're going to hear a lot this weekend. I believe that my biggest piece of advice would be to go and play different games. Go play Far Cry, go play Back 4 Blood, go play those games. And then, eventually, hopefully I would put a wager on Tuesday, I think we'll hopefully hear something. If we don't, and they just go to another Thursday, like it was nothing, yeah, I don't know about that one. It'll be very interesting to see if they just remove them without actually, addressing it, you know what I mean? So that'll be interesting. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you want me to continue to just talk about these things and just sort of cover it, then I will, because I do believe that it's fair for me to sort of just keep talking with you guys while there's not really many people to talk to, if you know what I mean. And hopefully that's all right. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.